Welcome to today's webinar on how to measure your success through social media analytics. This presentation today will talk about two different forms of measuring your analytics. One if you're on the LO package, the other if you are a branch manager or perhaps a marketing director for your branch. One of those dashboards is right there directly through Facebook so that you can navigate your analytics there, understand the success of individual posts. The other, for branch packages, consolidates that information into a single dashboard through Social5 that will give you the ability to track your trends, identify posts that are performing higher than others on a historical basis. So a little bit more sophisticated dashboard. So starting with that, there's going to be a few different elements as we move through to keep in mind. With your dashboard on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll notice there is a questions box down at the bottom of that dashboard. If at any time during this presentation you have a question, feel free to drop it in there. I'll keep it open on my side so that I can pause and address those as we go. Because sometimes these analytics can be head scratchers, for some people. As we talk about different types of measurements ranging from impressions to engagement, to viewership, all of those different elements that are referred to in the social media world that can be somewhat foreign. This presentation will last approximately 20 minutes, and we will record it and distribute to everyone by video as well if you want to circulate that to your branches or to other LOs within your organization. All right, so a few things we'll be talking about here today. First one is simple ways to track post performance. A lot of times we get hung up in the idea that we need a analytical dashboard to look at our performance, that we forget that Facebook in particular provides some simple tracking mechanisms. The same is the case on LinkedIn, where you can see at a snapshot how well your post is doing compared to others. We're going to look at how to access Facebook's analytics tool, which changed recently, and so we want to make sure that you can find that all right. The big 5 analytical measurements for Facebook. Okay, so these first 3 are intended for the LO package so that you can identify how your performance is if you're primarily on Facebook. Moving outside of Facebook, it's Social5's analytical tools for a branch package. And the items we'll discuss there will also be coming to you in the form of a 4-page guidebook, and big on pictures, short on text, because I find that just being able to talk through how to interpret those is one of the most important things. How to improve your post performance. The goal of analytics isn't just to see pretty lines going one direction or the other. It's being able to have a more knowledgeable outlook on how your social media campaign is performing and to know what steps you can take to improve individual metrics. So let's start out here with looking at what you can do to track your performance directly on Facebook. Again, this is most relevant for an LO, but if you are a marketing director within a branch, this can be valuable as well as you're trying to reach out to a specific audience. A lot of times, if you are in Oregon, your audience will respond to posts that may be different than those who are in San Francisco or those who are in Chicago, wherever it happens to be. Okay, so looking at this post, there are a few things you want to notice. First one is down at the bottom of the screen of how many people saw this particular post. These are views of 331 individuals saw this post on their news feed or on your Facebook page. Okay, so they came across it either through just what we call organic surfing of Facebook. This is if I got on there today, started just poking around and I saw this post, I would see that organically. Or if it came through paid advertisement, if I put out a boosted post or a promoted post or any of that, it would count in this as well. So 331 people. The next one is engagement, and you'll see that here if I can get my little presentation to work here. There it is. People who interact with the content in some way. This is what differentiates social media marketing from putting up a billboard or getting a newspaper advertisement. You can tell who is clicking, who is liking and sharing and commenting on a a given post. Okay, and so this helps you understand how engaging that particular piece of content is. All right, so moving in, let's take a little bit of a quiz here, and I won't put you on the spot too much because we're kind of a small crowd. Don't want to hurt any feelings. But if you look at these three posts, we have 1, 2, and 3. Which of those three would you find the most successful? Okay, so take a look at those for just a moment. The most successful post happens to be number 2. Okay, so this one, this Think Outside the Box post, you'll notice down at the bottom that this one reached 373 people compared to like this one, which was 136 people. It also had 7 people who liked it and 23 people who commented on that particular post. Okay, so this was a successful post compared to the others. So this is just a good thing to keep your eye on when you're trying to determine the preferences of your given audience. All right, so jumping in of how to access Facebook's analytics. One thing I should start with, if you are a new page, and we are seeing quite a few brand new pages out there, until you reach 30 likes, Facebook will not report your analytics for you. You need to reach that threshold first. Okay, so once you reach 30 likes, then you can access your analytics by clicking on the Insights button up on the top of the screen. Insights is Facebook's term for analytics. Okay, so if you click on this page, let me get there. And I should bring you back to one question we get routinely is, wait a minute, where are the insights on my page? Well, 2 things could be wrong. One, you don't have 30 likes. The other one is your page was just recently created by Social5 and you haven't received administrative access yet. If that's the case, send an email to our support team at support@social5.com requesting admin access, and we can get that granted to you in 24 hours to make sure that you have the ability to get to that page. Now, chances are if we built it for you and you don't have admin access yet, you'll probably be under that 30 like threshold. But yeah, that's a good first step. If you do have trouble after a month or two in crossing that 30 like threshold, feel free to reach out to us, and there are some ways that we can get you over that hump fairly quickly through some paid promotion of your page, which can be valuable. All right, so jumping into the dashboard itself, this is what you'll see when you go there. Don't be overwhelmed too much. What matters is actually the buttons up at the top, which we're going to address. So this page is designed to be a summary page. I've never found it to be very helpful. I've always wanted to click on one of these buttons above to figure out exactly what is performing well and what isn't. And really, there are 5 major metrics that we look at. Likes is the first. We hear about that a lot. It's the size of your audience. The reason why this matters isn't because we're in a popularity contest like my daughter at junior high just got through with student body elections, and it always seems like it is a a measurement of a student's popularity index, But how it matters in social media is each Facebook fan has an average of 338 friends. Okay, so if you have 100 fans, you now have a potential marketing network of 33,000 individuals, okay, if I'm doing the math correct. So the average person has 338 fans. This is great if you want to leverage that audience for paid advertisement, for paid boosting, for special initiatives where you're trying to reach the maximum number of people possible. Reach refers to individuals. If I go to your page 17 times, I'm counted as one person under this metric. Okay, it's looking at unique users that are coming to your page. Next is visits. So a lot of times we want to track who's coming to the page, where they're coming from, where they're going to. That's what this one refers to under Facebook. Posts. What you have published, which ones have done best. This is always an important one to evaluate as you're trying to understand who your audience is and what resonates with them, because every audience is a little bit different. And last is people, and this is demographics on your page. So let me show you in a little bit more detail. This is your likes button up at the top. If I click on that, I'll see a number of things. One is my trend line of total audience that's going up. The other one is how many likes are gained or lost in a particular day. This is good to look at if there are particular spikes that happen of what exactly took place that day. Did I go out and did I send an email to my contact list and say, hey, come visit my Facebook page? If I did and I saw a big spike, it may make sense to do something like that again, or to focus on gathering some additional email addresses. Or if you see a big decline, we had one customer who ran a contest on the men you would prefer not to share a hotel hot tub with. Oh my goodness! And we saw a big decline on that one because it wasn't in the best taste, and we saw some people that dropped off, and so that was some good intelligence for that consumer that the idea may not have been fully baked. All right, next one here is reach. Okay, so we're going to see the trend line of people who have viewed the content in two different ways. You'll notice this one is kind of a light orange color. This is referring to organic reach. Okay, so this is just typical use of Facebook. Someone stumbles across your brand, stumbles across your content based on their typical use of Facebook. If we saw bright orange, that would refer to paid advertisements or paid boosting or page promotions that have happened, all paid strategies to get your brand noticed. Okay, so yeah, that's how you read those pages. I would encourage you as you become more mature in your social media marketing strategy, and once you start building up an audience, it's always good to incorporate a mixture of organic and paid social media strategies to get the biggest bang for your buck. All right, next one here is visits. So we're going to look at where people are coming, and this is like to the timeline and to their app. You'll see the little boxes up at the top showing where people are going, and then where those people are coming from. And it looks like in this case, they were almost entirely coming from the person's website or from Google. So it will show you where they are coming from online. And then posts. This is my favorite tab, looking at what pieces of content have performed the best. So this is how many people a piece of content has reached, how many people are engaging with it in whatever way it happens to be. And then if a post was boosted, that means that you have put maybe $5 or $10 into the post to show it to a certain number of people. And generally $5 will get you about 700-800 people who see your piece of content. You could target that if you'd like in a geographic market. And then last one is your demographics. The blue bar represents what your demographics are. The gray bar represents what the average is, the average composition on Facebook would be. So in this case, you can see that this business tends to be more female-centric, more middle-age centric than the Facebook audience generally. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit of some of the demographics of where they come from. So these are the elements that are important for an LO specifically to pay attention to, because their analytics will be ones that they will glean directly off of Facebook through this tool. So now let me take a break and move into the analytical dashboard that branches will receive or marketing directors will receive to be able to help strategize on what direction they need to head with their social media package. All right, so the Social5 analytical dashboard looks something like this. Don't be too afraid. It's not nearly as complex as it may look at first blush. Okay, so this dashboard is meant to aggregate all of those analytics into one place where you can easily see trend lines. Okay, because the goal is not necessarily to have giant spikes here and there. The goal is to see an upward trend in your social marketing performance, okay, in the different metrics that we look at. So you'll recognize some of these boxes from what we just discussed. With the audience monitor, we talked about fans and fan growth. So we want to see those fans are climbing over time. This is what it looks like on the Social5 dashboard. Right now, it's in what we call the mirror mode. So it's showing number of likes gained, number of likes lost. Okay. Excuse me. We could click line graph if we wanted to, and it would show your overall trend line going up or down over time. Okay, so that's where we track the number of fans. Engagement is one that we track in something of a little bit more of a sophisticated way than what you'd see on Facebook. And this is a metric that will probably be valuable from a marketing perspective for you. That Facebook typically tracks likes, comments, and shares. We add in an additional metric of times that people click on a particular post, because a lot of times, someone may find a piece of content intriguing, but they're not one that would click like or share or any of that kind of stuff. They just want to follow it and see what's happening. So we want to capture that performance. So this one indicates, like for instance, so 166 interactions or pieces of engagement of people liking, clicking, commenting, or sharing. And if we looked at this, it's based on a weekly basis. Okay. So this first line would say clicks, how many times people clicked on posts, and they had, looks like about 22 this week or something like that. How many times people shared, and then how many times people liked a post. Gives you a pretty good indication of how engaging your social media strategy is. Now we come over to the reach monitor, and this is really dealing with traffic. And I believe over on Facebook you saw the same terminology of reach. If you take out an ad in the newspaper and that ad goes out to 420,000 households, that's your reach. Okay, we do the same thing in social media. Aside from this reach, reflects actual people who see your content. Not that the newspaper was delivered to a house and it immediately went into a bird cage. That's not the case. This is people who actually see your content. And it breaks it down in this dashboard between two different measurements. One is people who saw it organically, okay, so people who just stumbled across it as part of their everyday use of Facebook, and those that saw it through paid advertisements or paid boosting or paid page promotions. So you can see exactly how that is doing. Now, if you do a paid advertisement, you'll see those numbers rise incredibly fast. Okay, Facebook advertising tends to be very effective, cost effective for reaching a large number of people. If you are a marketing director and need some help on that one, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can give you some consultation of how to best target that for what you're trying to achieve, whether it's LO recruitment or whether it's brand enhancement or brand exposure within your market. Okay, next, coming over to demographics. This one's fairly easy to understand. Male, female composition, different age ranges on your page. Market Monitor is a great one of determining how relevant your audience is to your specific geographic market. It's also a great way to keep us honest. That you'll notice there is a little world tab there on the side where you can click world and see if all of your likes are coming from India or Pakistan or Egypt, because we don't want that. We want those to be legitimate leads. And then Content Monitor is looking at how frequently your posting is happening. It should be steady, not big spikes here and there, just steady a stream of content so that your brand remains top of mind with those who are out there. Okay. One last slide here, and then I just want to show you how to access this dashboard through a live environment, and then we'll wrap up. When you get through these analytics, the obvious question will be, what do I do to improve my numbers? Okay, so here are some things that people in your office or things that you may want to do to increase the exposure on your page. First one is we need to invite people to like the page. That's either through an email that you send out, or Facebook has its own little function where you can invite friends to like your page, and that's something you'll find under the if you look at your Facebook page, there'll be 3 horizontal dots that you'll find right beneath your cover image that will include the ability to share your page or invite friends. So sharing it with your friends on Facebook, sharing content that you think is engaging, that you enjoy, out on your personal Facebook page. Best place to start with a social audience is with the audience you already have with your friends and family. Post personal photos and events. Send out an email invitation to Facebook friends. Promote your post through the boost function. This is that paid advertising strategy. Run a Facebook ad campaign. These are all things that will take your campaign from maybe being a little bit sleepy or maybe being a little bit small to really ramping up and becoming a revenue generating marketing tool for your company. So I'm going to jump out of this PowerPoint, take you in a live environment for just a moment to show you how to access the dashboard if you are under the branch package here. So I'm coming to the Social5 website, and you'll see at the top there is a member login. You see that, member login. If you haven't received a member login already, then it will be coming to, then I can send it to you by early next week. And I'll check for those who are on the call today if you do have that member login in place. But what you'll do is you'll click on that member login, and it's going to take you to a dashboard where you can enter your username and password. So I'm going to put in mine, Social5. I'll put in my password. Okay, and then I'll log in. Okay, now my dashboard is going to be a little bit different than yours. Yours is going to look more like this. I'm going to just, sorry, before it loads, let's see if I can jump over to the dashboard. Okay. All right, so here we go. This is, so I'm pulling up a number of dashboards here, and so let's say you just go down. We'll just pull up a dashboard. Oh, these guys, I just saw at their place just recently, McNeil Engineering. So if I was to pull up their dashboard, it would come up through our system, and you could see these different boxes or statistics that we talked about previously. Now you'll notice I'm on the mirror graph right now, but I could click on the line graph and see what their trend line has been for growth on their page. Okay. Interactions of how much people have liked, clicked, commented, and shared. I could turn that into a pie chart if I wanted to, and let's see. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, yeah, because I hadn't gathered the data just yet. And it can give you some specific data of how many likes, how many shares, and how many clicks on pieces of content by a given month. So really, really cool tool. And then this last one is based on traffic to the page. I did want to show you the location monitor here, where I can toggle to world, and you'll notice that it is primarily in the United States that their audiences come from. It looks like 94% has come from the United States. There's no way to keep international audiences entirely off your page, but we want to have a significant number from the United States. And in this case, you can see that for McNeil Engineering, which is based out of Salt Lake City, their audience is primarily out of Utah, with looks like there is a bit of a population in Arizona as well. Okay, so very relevant to their marketplace. Now, one thing that is valuable on the posts is we can see what the most popular posts are by clicking this button here at the bottom. So I click on it. What you're going to see is the pieces of content that have performed better than other pieces of content. Okay. Now, one thing you'll notice, and I can't emphasize this enough. It's the secret that we are more than happy to tell everybody, that you'll notice that their highest performing posts happen to be some shout outs to people in their office. And even though we may have posted these for them, this is a photo that they took in their office as prompted by one of our customer outreach emails that you may have received already, where we asked, hey, is there someone we can highlight in your office? And they said, yeah, there is. And they took a picture and sent it over. Those types of hyper-local images, whether you post them, whether we post them, will always perform better than other things. So please don't take the Social5 platform as being the be-all and end-all for your social marketing campaign. The most biggest effect and engagement you can come off your page will happen when you have individuals in the office that are participating in some way, and we're happy to help and facilitate that as much as we can. So again, if you're going to access this page, you will go to social5.com. You will click on the member login at the top, and you'll enter in your username and password in the bottom. Click login, and it will take you to your specific analytical dashboard so you can measure your performance. If you do have any questions on interpretation, we're happy to provide those. So with that is the end of this particular presentation here. Let me open it up and see if there are any questions that you may have, either about analytics or social media, FAQs or any of that sort of thing. And happy to unmute your microphone if that would be helpful as well. Any questions? All right, good. Hey, thank you so much for participating today. I'll send out this recording here early next week so you can have that for reference going forward. All right, thanks a bunch. Talk to you soon.